Hello and welcome to the user guide for the Alaska platform for organizational-wide issue and risk visualization. As can be seen in other user guides, the Alaska platform automates and orchestrates multiple security tooling against applications on an automated fashion, which means it can happen daily, weekly, or monthly across numerous applications. As you do this inside an organization, you can build up a lot of data, empirical data based on actual findings inside your organization that allows you to build up a picture of how you're currently performing against security, how you can improve against security, and how you can prioritize methods and budget and procedures to effectively reduce the security and risk that you are facing as a software organization. So what we do is we log in to the executive dashboard, which brings up these high-level screens. Again, remember, the Alaska platform essentially then becomes a database of all these multiple scans and security tests across multiple teams, multiple applications happening daily, weekly, and monthly. And as we build up that picture, we can show it as shown in this particular screen to give you empirical information on how to reduce the risk. I'll go through each of these screens in turn. First of all, we have the total risk situation here, which shows per week how much risk is associated with the latest vulnerability scan and test information of all of our applications put together. Here, for this particular system, which is configured to show the business risk, the value at risk monetary value, it shows us just over £1 million in risk associated with the current software estate. Now remember, the Alaska platform can also be configured to show simple red, amber, green values, high, medium, and low values, CVSS stats, or generic risk values. No matter which measurement you use, these bar charts will be able to show you if security vulnerabilities and risk associated with those vulnerabilities is growing or getting better, allowing you to prove to stakeholders and auditors that your security efforts are making headway and are effectively reducing the risk associated with the organization. Here we can simply show the number of vulnerabilities found by different testing tools to again allow that to be tracked. Number of vulnerabilities would be different than the amount of risk because each vulnerability would have varying degrees on the risk they pose to the organization. Here we also can track the number of applications provided. On the right hand side here we have what we call the highest ASVS risks. Now the OWASP, Advanced Security Verification Standard, is used by the Alaska platform to categorize how different vulnerabilities are considered. And it's over 380 different ways of describing vulnerabilities, and we have found that a good taxonomy to be able to categorize different types of issues. Hence, in this particular example, you can see user re-authentication is the biggest risk identified inside all the software used by this organization. Now, this is based not just on numbers of issues, but on the impact or risk associated with those issues. Again, no matter whether you use VIR, red, amber, green, high, medium, low, etc., it shows the strength of the impact of those particular issues. And this informs your strategy to be able to say, for this week, user re-authentication is currently our biggest risk we are seeing. It is something we can then address, spend budget or spend time and resources on addressing and removing, and it helps inform your strategy to say this is the best way for you to reduce your risk. These configurations allow us to go up to 5, 10, 15, whatever way you need to be able to reduce the risks. And one of the reasons why we track the risks instead of just pure numbers is because many times the actual risk is more informative of the business value of the issues. For example, let's take a simple SQL injection. If we use that against an internal system that is authenticated and only used by 2 or 3 people, the risk of that SQL injection is quite low, especially if there's no sensitive data. If you have another SQL injection on an external system with lots of sensitive PII financial data, and it's something that's unauthenticated, then that's a much bigger risk to the organization. So we don't just concentrate on the technicality, we concentrate on the risk of the issue. If we scroll down here, we can see how the different types of tracks around applications, vulnerabilities, overall risk, again that can be monetary value, red, amber, green, high, medium, low, whatever the system's configured for. They are tracked on a per location or team or other basis. Now, every application within the Aleska platform can be associated with a team, and that team can then be associated with whatever the client requires. If that is a global organization, if that is a business unit, if that's an internal team or an external supplier, these applications can be monitored and then split up in that way to allow you to measure if an external supplier that provides you with 15 systems, it lets you see the overall risk and number of issues they are bringing into your system and how it compares either with other suppliers or other internal teams. No matter what way you're tracking the risk, the trend information at the right hand side there allows you to see if things are getting better or getting worse over the last 5 weeks. If we go to the next tab, we can see the financials, which is similar to the previous screen but allows you to concentrate purely on the financial figures. So we can see things are getting better or worse in the European teams. We can even scroll that down into individual teams within the European region. For compliance, we can actually view information specific to compliance. So ignoring issues that don't cause regulatory fine impacts. If we remove some of these issues, we can track what our overall status is compared to things like GDPR, PCI DSS, and other regular standards. You can scroll down and see more information relative to that as well. And finally, we can view the vulnerability information itself. So this is down to pure numbers of vulnerabilities across different teams. We can see the trends and we can see how that information splits up. All of this is with the aim to allow you to have centralized visibility of all those different systems and risks associated with those all in one place. Again, all of this information is visible and available via our API. So if anybody needs to extract that information, you can. And all of this information is continually updated week on week as the frequent scans and frequent security tests, as the manual issues are added, as issues are fixed, and as more issues are introduced either through new vulnerabilities in third-party software or new vulnerabilities being supplied or introduced through software development changes. Thank you very much.